What's the biggest challenge in pastel painting? Well, the more pastel you put on your surface, the harder it becomes to paint. So we need to overcome that challenge and turn it into an advantage. Let's see how we can do that. So the biggest challenge with pastel is you only have so much tooth in your paper. And what we mean by that is there's these little grooves and divots and all that in the paper, no matter what kind of paper you use. And eventually that fills up with pastel dust. And any other pastel dust you put on top of that is just going to skip right over and is not going to fill those little grooves and divots and all that in the paper. So when that tooth gets filled up, then it makes it very challenging to paint. When you're using paint, you can just layer more paint over the top. And of course, you have to deal with the paint drying and all that if you're working in oils. There's some challenges with paint as well, but paint at least gives you the advantage of being able to layer more and more paint over the top. But with pastels, we can't do that. We do want to layer. It's very important that we layer. That's one of the advantages of pastel, is the effects that you can get when you layer properly. But the more that you layer, the harder it is to paint. So I'm trying to paint this scene here, and this scene has a lot of detail. I'm not going to put all that detail in because this is a smaller piece. If I were doing it larger, then I might consider it. But I'm going to represent a lot of that detail in this scene. But in order to do that, I'm going to have to leave tooth for later. I'm going to have to leave texture in the paper so that I can add more pastel later. The secret to pastels is to work in layers. And that's a weakness and a strength with pastels. Because the weakness is the more layers I add, then the more my tooth fills up and the harder it can be to paint. But of course, the strength of that is when you layer one color over another, you get very interesting texture and color interactions. And that's one of the advantages of pastel. So I want to take advantage of the layering and take advantage of the tooth and the texture that it allows, and the texture of the pigment itself and the pastels themselves. I want to take advantage of all that, but I want to overcome this weakness that I have in the medium of the tooth filling up too quickly. Now, if you're fairly new to pastels, then you put a couple layers down, and that's all it takes for you to already have trouble putting more pastel down and getting a good painting and a good result. Well, then it could be that your surface is the problem. See, when you paint with pastels, you need a very good surface with a lot of texture that's going to hold your pastel well and allow you, after you put initial layers, to put more layers on top. So that's why experienced pastel artists use a surface that's designed to hold many layers of pastel, like this pastel mat here that has a cork-based surface. It's smooth, but it has enough texture and enough depth in the texture that it can hold layers of pastel. Or my personal favorite, which is a sanded surface, like this UArt 400. It comes in a tan color and a black color. With any of these surfaces, the advantage is that we have a lot of texture in the paper, a lot of room, a lot of depth to hold that pastel dust and that pigment. So that allows us to add more layers without having the trouble of getting a smooth surface or getting muddy pastel or just not being able to put the strokes down the way that we want to. Now, if this video or any other video on my channel has been helpful for you, then I encourage you to subscribe, leave a like on the video, share this video with your friends. That really helps us out. So I'm working on black UArt here. Let me just erase a little bit of pastel off of here so you can see that this is black UArt, black paper to begin with. It's a sanded surface. And so that gives me an advantage because any of these areas that are really dark, like the trees, they're going to go in here. I have that dark underneath in the paper that's really going to help me to retain those darks. But wherever the image is going to be lighter, like say in that cloud in the sky and a lot of those highlights on the rocks, I'm going to have to overcome the darkness of the paper, and that means adding more pastel. And the more pastel that I add, the more my tooth is going to fill up. So how do we overcome this disadvantage of the tooth filling up in this paper and turn it into an advantage and have the layering and the texture and everything that this medium and this surface can really give us? Well, number one, I'm going to be very careful and intentional about my first layers. I want to make sure that they're very light and they don't fill the tooth. Now, there's a couple ways we can do that. Now, if I look down here at my tray, my working palette that needs to be cleaned up. But I have in here a couple different types of pastel. I have these new pastels, which are hard, and they don't leave much pastel or pastel dust on the surface unless I push really hard with them, but they're easier to control and I can put some color down without filling that tooth. So starting with harder pastels is always a good idea. If you haven't done this already and you have the finances available, go invest in some harder pastels like new pastels or Create a Color or something like that. They're going to give you more versatility than just having a bunch of very soft pastels. But if you are using very soft pastels, and let's go check out down here, and let's just grab this one here. This is a Terry Ludwig, and I might want to use this for some highlights eventually, but I'm going to be very, very light right now. Very intentionally just touching the paper very, very lightly. And part of the reason I'm doing that is because I only want to represent where these highlights might go. I don't want to commit too soon. But also if I push down too hard with this stick, and I'll do some right here to show you, that's going to fill that tooth up. And in my little grooves, my texture in my paper is going to be so full up with this color that it might be challenging for me to get another color on top. So I'm working very, very lightly. Now the cool thing about pastel is you can take a brush and it's just dust, and I can pull that back off, and I can open up that tooth again, give me some texture back, and I can start over if I need to. Not completely, there's a little bit of a shadow, a ghost image of that color, but there's enough removed there now that I have got texture, I've got tooth again, and I can put another color over that. So number one rule, first layer of pastel, first couple layers of pastel, very light. Use harder pastels if you have them. Otherwise, work very, very lightly, just scumbling is what we call it. Very light glazing of the pastel over the surface. Now, if you know you have an area that's going to be a certain color, is going to be especially dark, like this tree line here. Of course, I have the paper, as I mentioned, that's helping me with that dark. But I have laid down a lot of pastel here in this area so that those darks stay in the future. And I've done the same here in the sky. I had to overcome the darkness of the paper and really lay down some thick pastel in this area, two different colors there, a lighter blue and a slightly darker blue, to make sure that I get that sky color. But I'm only doing that in areas where I know that that's going to be basically the final color. And I can reinforce that later with the same color, the same stick, and make sure that that's a nice, solid, clean color. So another way that I'm dealing with this challenge of pastels, of the tooth filling up too quickly, is I am looking at my painting as if it's blocks of color, essentially. Yeah, there's a lot of details that I want to include in this painting later, but I'm not worried about those details yet. I want to block in areas of color, areas of value. I want to get those shapes in, those big shapes in first. Then I can come back later with my heavier marks towards the end of the painting and get some of those details in. So you're going to want to control your layers. You want to be very light and work up to colors and values very slowly and carefully and methodically. Save the hard, sharp, thick marks for the very end when you need those details. And in order to make sure you can make those thick marks at the end, you have to have enough texture left over at the very end. So be careful with your layers. Just watch your layers as you go and be intentional and diligent about leaving enough texture for later on. You might have seen some artist tutorials or demonstrations or workshops where they're making strong marks right from the beginning. Well, that takes a lot of practice and a lot of experience, like years of experience to get to that point. And it's wonderful that they can work that way, but if you're a beginner or maybe an intermediate artist, then it's probably more valuable for you to work a little more slowly. Light strokes, careful with your layers until the very end when you can make those strong marks that really bring the character to your piece. So we're going to overcome this weakness in the medium of filling the tooth, of not being able to put more pastel on later by starting out very light. But there's another trick we can use. If we need a lot of color, a lot of pigment in an area, then I can use alcohol, and I use it in a spray bottle. You don't have to. You can dip your brush into this alcohol. This is isopropyl alcohol. This is, I think, 70%, but it doesn't really matter the grade. Just get it at your drugstore, get it at your Walmart, whatever. Use some alcohol. I like the spray bottle because of control. This is a misting spray bottle, and it allows me to control. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this to dissolve this pastel dust and essentially turn it into paint. And by doing this, if I spray it on this area here, and then I take my brush, I can take that pigment and spread it, and I can get a lot more mileage out of it. And then the dust here, the little bits of pastel, are going to dissolve, and they're not going to fill the tooth quite as much as if they were just solid crystalline pieces of pastel. Now, it's pretty important when you're moving to another area that you clean off your brush. I use wet wipes all the time to clean my hands, just baby wipes, unscented, and I can clean off the brush a little bit. I've got a lot of orange pigment on that. I want to set this blue in and dissolve it some, so I want to get rid of some of that orange. And then let's spray down that blue, and let's spread that pigment and get it right into those cracks and crevices without filling up the tooth too much. You can see here it's much darker when it's wet, but as it dries, it will lighten back up. Not all the way, not to the same value it originally was, but this gives me a nice underpainting here. And when I go back over this with the blue again, then it will be a nice, clean, solid color. And notice here where we had these nice little runs, create some interesting texture that I can use later. This is a bunch of rocky crags, so it's kind of nice to have that texture underneath. And now I'm going to transition to the really dark area. I'm going to clean off my brush again because I might have some really light pigment there on the brush. And when I get to this dark area, I want to set that in to the paper. And I want to make sure my brush is fairly clean when I do that. So now we're going to let that dry, and then we'll see how much texture we have left in this paper after that. Now, the second biggest challenge for pastel painters is color harmony. When you're painting with paints, with wet media, you can mix those colors together and it creates a harmony just because you've taken this limited set of colors and you start mixing them together. But with pastels, it's hard to keep that harmony because you have all of these wonderful sticks to choose from. It's very challenging to choose sticks that are harmonious unless you have a lot of practice and a lot of experience in color harmony. Now I have a whole course about color harmony for pastel artists over in the Pastel Workshop Mentorship Community. It's on a platform called School, skool.com/pastel-workshop. If you'd like access to the course, you can go join in there, but also there's a great community there. We share our work and we critique and we encourage, and right now we have a challenge going on trying to paint 15 paintings in the month of February, but it's just a great place for us to have camaraderie and fellowship together, but also you can find great courses about things like color harmony and mark making and many other topics. So now that I have my first layer, kind of an underpainting here, I'm going to go ahead and continue. I'm going to come back with the blue that I used here before, and I'm just going to reinforce that. You can see here how this is much lighter than this became after the alcohol. What happened was that alcohol took this crystalline pastel dust and it turned it into a paint, essentially. And when you do that, then those little crystals in the pastel, they don't reflect the light quite the same. So it appears darker than it was. But it creates a nice effect where I can come back in with this pastel and I can still get some of that texture here, but I'm just using the same stick as before. So I'm able to overcome this weakness that we have in the medium, the weakness of filling up that tooth, of getting too much pastel dust down on the surface and not being able to paint over it. I've overcome that by starting light, very light strokes, by dissolving it with alcohol, and then by continuing in my next layers very lightly, a little at a time. I'm going to build very slowly with these layers. Now I have a whole other video about pastel surfaces, the popular choices that you might want to try out. Talks about their strengths and their weaknesses. Some surfaces you can use wet media on to create an underpainting like alcohol. Some you can't. Some have more texture and some have less. So go check that out, and you're just going to have to experiment and find the surface that's right for you and that matches your style. But if you'd like a recommendation so you don't have to go through the whole process of going through every type of surface yourself, I recommend trying out Pastel Matte and then the UART 400. So you can get a sanded surface experience and an unsanded surface experience, but both of these are very good at taking layers of pastel. But even with a good surface, you still have to control your layers. It's so critical that you learn to paint lightly, don't commit too soon, control your layers so that by the end, you can still make those strong marks. You still have texture in your painting. You can still get sharp, crisp lines when you need to. So if you've been struggling a bit with this challenge of the pastel medium of building up too quickly and not being able to paint on your surface later, then try this out. Try to paint slowly, build those layers methodically. Don't overcommit, wait till the end for those strong marks and see if that helps you out. Now go make something.